Hi, I'm Nephtali. I am the AV production teacher and early college high school facilitator here at Southside High School. I've been teaching in this program for about 10 years now, and I just want to say that this isn't just a class to me. I believe in our product, I believe in what we're building here, and more importantly, I believe in the students that come to the program. About 90% of the course is hands-on, student-led, and creative-driven. I introduced them into fundamentals, camera work, lighting, editing, story structure, and they apply those skills to real projects that grow in complexity throughout the year. I use scaffolding naturally in the way that the class is structured. Each project builds on the last. If a student learned basic shot composition in one unit, they will need to know the knowledge again when we start editing for pace or using visual storytelling to move emotion in all stacks. On top of that, I run a flipped classroom model. I give them tutorials, walkthroughs, references, materials they can check at home. Then in class, we use our time for the real work, filming, editing, critiquing. It creates more space for individualized support, collaboration, and creativity. It allows me to meet students where they are at, whether they're ahead or need extra help. One thing I've learned over the years, in AV, the data is visual. The video is evidence. If a student doesn't understand a lesson, it shows. Okay, so I wanted to show you some of the data that I receive on my end. So it's kind of different than other classes, like I said, but my data is more like a visual style data. So this is my tutorial that I made custom with the class. This is during my class lectures. I tell them what the expectation is, so I show them. They receive a paper copy of this chart right here that tells them what steps. This is from the Animation Bible by Richard Williams, and so this is for them not to reinvent the wheel, but just follow along, and it tells them step by step how to do it. I show them in a 3D environment what the step is. So this is from my animation 1 class. They use real life rigs from real life training schools or real life schools out there, and so they follow me on these steps. I explain to them, I record it for them, and I use this to give them the flipped classroom, of course, and they use this to go at their own pace. So if they don't understand, they can go in and follow along or pick up where they didn't understand, or they leave early, pick up where they left off, and they see my expectations, what I want to see for them. So this is an example of what the animation might look like on their end, to see visually what your animation looks like. And so and then I get the results. So like I said, the data that I get is very, very visual. And it shows. So here's an example of one student who did understand the assignment. See how it looks seamless, right? So he's going to recycle this animation and then track this animation across the floor and make it slide, so it looks like the character rig is moving. Here's another one that did understand the assignment, and this student was trying to grasp the WIP principle, and so he kind of achieved it, but the problems that we have here is that he doesn't quite understand how to make it look seamless, so he had to animate beyond the time frame so that his animation rig looks seamless and it doesn't look like a repeated animation. You don't get that jitter, you don't get that pause in his animation. And then here's another student. This is the data that I'm mostly looking for to help the students that don't understand the assignment. This student in particular did not understand the assignment as far as what the steps were, or rather what the keyframes were. So the timing, the position of the feet. So she was really struggling on that. She did work on it the entire time, so she wasn't goofing off, she wasn't on her phone or anything like that. So this is the sort of data that I receive, right? So you have, in contrast, one student that is not understanding the assignment, and one of them that is, right, and they're trying to take it to the next level. And so sometimes it's tough. This student really liked animation class. She really wanted to be an animator, and this is one of those moments where we show them the data. We show them, look, this is what's going on. You're struggling. This might not be something that you might want to do forever, but it might be just a fun class for you to take in high school. Or this student is very passionate, or didn't like it but took it to the next level, and he might have found a new passion, right? He's already looking at web principal. This right here, we're talking about college level stuff at a sophomore in high school. And so this is often the type of things that people want to see early on from a student, an animation student, and they take this and they use it in their job application, in their portfolio. They get into animation school, or they could get a part-time job. Texas is a powerhouse when it comes to animation, especially the Austin area. There are thousands of studios there. They're all coming in from California, and they're looking for people. And this is the sort of data that I'm looking at in my classroom. So I wanted to show you some data from my AV class. So this is Love Shot by one of my students. This is on YouTube because it takes a lot of memory on my computer, so I just archive them on my YouTube channel, set them on private, and if a student reaches out, they can get a copy to my YouTube link. Only they can watch and stuff. So this did a circuit around the film festivals, won a couple awards, but this is very early on in one of my students' film careers, or AV career here at the high school. And so they shot this film, and he had a very good understanding of cinematic vocabulary, using extreme close-ups, medium shots, timing. And so you can see that very evident in this film, that he did understand the unit, he did understand cinematography, he understand editing, and he understand group work. So everybody came in and they put in their input, and so they came up with this. Everybody was into it. Some of these students, one in particular, wasn't much of a AB student, but he did like acting. He was passionate about acting, and so he influenced his team members to participate, and so that encouraged each other to, you know, exceed and excel in my class. And so this is their short film. This was their 1 minute film. So this is a successful film, and I wanted to show you another sample. This one's a little bit long. Let me see if I can find it. Silence right here. This is a little long film that they came up with. These students, they were excellent students. I love these students, but they struggled a lot. They struggled with their cinematic vocabulary, but they tried their best, and so they got the grade. It wasn't the best grade ever, but they got the grade. And we worked a little bit more on timing, right? You can see the shot is lasting over 8 to 10 seconds long. This should have been a close-up. This should have been at eye level. So they're struggling a little bit with their cinematic vocabulary, their transitions, with their editing, with their audio, but they did what I asked them to do. They told a story using cinematography, using voiceovers. I think they're talking over this one. This is like a soliloquy, so they use the phone. It's a montage of visuals, of storytelling, of feelings, of emotions, just expressing themselves. But some of these shots right here, you know, they're good shots, but they're not the best, right? This shot right here should have been at eye level, the one in the car, right? Because we don't think about our memories being shot from above, right? So this should have been at eye level. This is okay. And I give these notes, and I give them the opportunity to go back. It's kind of tough, and I understand the restrictions we have as students. So they did the job, they did the assignment, they struggled, we talked about it, and then they try it again on the next project. And so this is the type of visual data that I'm looking at as far as my AB classes are concerned.
Indulge the things. I crave silence, but more than anything, I crave you.
I use rubrics that break down every part of the production process: camera work, sound design, editing, continuity, and more. These help me assess each project objectively while tracking growth over time. If I see a trend like multiple students struggling with audio mixing or a scene transition, that tells me exactly where I need to reteach. Sometimes it means pulling students aside for a small group session. Sometimes it's recording a custom tutorial for a specific skill that you're stuck on. Geometrics also helps me prep for certifications, and those test results give me even more insight whether they're thriving or we need a little bit more support. And there's the thing, I just don't let students fail and move on. I give them feedback. I give them the time, and I let them revise and resubmit, because we're not just building grades, we're building real-world skills, confidence, and a sense of ownership in their work. Outside of the classroom, I'm involved in a few leadership roles. I help guide our early college high school students through their dual credit journey, making sure that they're staying on track, balancing high school and college planning for their future. One of my favorite leadership experiences happened about 3 years ago when I was invited to help organize the SkillsUSA Texas state level animation competition. That experience changed how I think about education and competition. We had so many talented students competing across Texas, but what stood out to me was the need for a clear evaluation and fairness. So I jumped in and used my data analysis skills to help revise and tighten scoring rubrics. We locked on past entries, broke down what the judges were rewarding, and rebuilt the criteria to better reflect real industry standards. The results? We were able to identify the most well-rounded skilled student across the state. And that year, Texas placed second at the national level. I was proud not just for the students, but of the process. We made it better, we made it count. Leadership isn't always about spotlight. It's about stepping in, improving systems, and helping students rise to the top. That is what I try to do every day, whether I'm running a classroom or helping a competition or mentoring students through a top edit. Everything I do, from lesson planning to grading to mentoring, comes to this. I believe in our product. I believe in the value of creativity, technical skills, and storytelling. But more than that, I believe in my students. They walk into my class nervous, unsure, maybe intimidated, but over time, they learn how to tell their stories, learn how to lead, learn how to take an idea and turn it into something real. Whether they go into film or something entirely, they leave my program with the skills they can use in the real world. Skills that matter. Thanks for letting me share a little bit about myself, about my class, and a little bit about what I do for my students here at Southside High School. And I look forward to hearing from you guys. Thank you so much.